Hello, everyone. It is Pat. I'm coming on live tonight for our monthly, it's October. Happy October. And we're going to be pulling some cards today, our Archangel cards, and for messages and stuff like that, to take a look at the month of October. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pat Rainville. My business is Relax Life Coaching. I am a reader. Mostly an oracle card reader, although I do bring in tarot cards every once in a while. Also a Reiki master. Recently added to the Reiki credentialing with some holy fire, which is another kind of, I guess I would call it like an upgraded form of Reiki from the original one that I had. But anyway, so that's a little bit about what I do. But coming on as I do once a month, and perhaps going into the future, I should be coming on a little bit more. But anyways, let's, in these crazy, hectic times, there's a lot going on in the world and in our personal lives too, I'm sure. It's always great to call on the angelic energies and, well, just to see what their messages are for us coming up. Now, today's October 2nd, so we're just hitting the beginning of October. And here where I live in Salem, there's a big parade going on today, the Witches Parade. So it's a very busy time here in this city, especially in the month of October. Now, if you do happen to come on while I'm live here, feel free to pop in a question or something in the chat. Or if you have something, specific that you'd like me to read on, I'll see what I can pull a card on and get for you. Okay. So anyways, let's see. I have this cute little card deck that is called the Healing Angels cards. And I love these they're just cute little things. So I was just shuffling for us for the month of October and got the love card popped out. Okay. And it says, the heart of love is the heart of creation. All is possible through love. All is worthwhile for love. And may all you think and feel reflect love's eternal truth. So I feel like it's a reminder from our angels, because these are healing angel cards for October, that perhaps the best way, and it certainly could be predictive of where we're going to be at in the month of October, maybe getting more heart-centered. And working from there as a way of, as a way of healing ourselves in these times, and as a way of, bringing some healing to the world. Okay, I study some of the ascended masters. I mean, obviously, I was raised in Catholicism, so I learned a lot about Jesus. But since then, I've learned about the great masters, the Hindu masters, Yogananda, and his that line of ascended masters there. And most of the spiritual teaching I've come across. Oh, hi, Erin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thanks for joining. But anyways, so a lot of what we focus on is what grows. And the way to combat fear in these difficult times is to stay focused in love and peace as much as we can. Okay, so when we can ground that within ourselves, that's part of what we radiate out to the world. Not always easy in these times. Okay, if you're facing difficulties, whether they be financial, health difficulties, or being in a place where there's been some kind of disaster that's gone on. But the more love you can give yourself, as well as others, the better off we'll all be. Okay. Now, I always like to advocate, whenever you're feeling afraid and you call on the angelic energies, call on Archangel Michael. He's really well known as a protective angel, and he helps to lift the effects of fear, and he can help us to feel more strong and courageous, to stand in our power, to help us take our power back to things that we might have given it away to. Okay. So we'll certainly call on some of his. I'll pull some cards from his deck, but let's start out for our month here in October. with our archangels. See who's overseeing us for the month of October. What we need to know, like what messages they want to share with us, either about the energies coming up for this month, like what we, kind of, just what's coming up for the month. And also, I find with the archangels that their messages are both, predictive about what's coming up, but also a message with how to deal with it. So let's see. Okay, beloved archangels, please be here and present with all of us watching this video now. And I came on really last minute as a live here, so maybe in the future I'll decide on some dates to do some lives so that people know ahead of time. All right, let's see. Archangels, what do we need to know for the month of October? What are your message for us? Nobody's jumping out yet, but let's see. I feel Archangel Shamuel's energies coming in here. And Archangel Shamuel is an angel of peace. He helps to transmute the energy of pain to peace. That's how I came to know about him. He's also an angel that helps us to find things. Okay. All right. Okay, we have Raguel with pay attention, clairsentience. Pay attention to your recurring physical, emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. Okay, so this month, this is about paying. I mean, it's certainly been, October is a month always been considered where the veil between the worlds, if you will, is at its thinnest. So it's kind of, in a nutshell, it's basically saying it's when we're at our most intuitive. Okay. So what this card is letting us know about is to pay attention to that going into this month. If you just have that gut feeling about this, a group, a person, a situation going into it, you need to pay attention to that because your intuition is right on. If you have a repeated, if you go into a place and you don't feel a great vibe about it, don't stay there. If there's something about an event or, I know there's going to be a lot of events going on this month. I know here in the United States, there's going to be a No Kings, protest that could potentially be really huge. So again, this is about paying attention to your feelings about going into, you might be excited about, all of us standing up and bonding together, to make our statements. And, if you feel right about that and feel right about being there, great, by all means. But if you have an uneasy feeling about it, this card is saying we need this month to pay attention to our gut feelings and those intuitions about things. Now, it's fairly normal that for a lot of us who are empathic, we may be feeling a general underlying unease because of the drama and all these different situations that are going on in the country. And sometimes I know I wake up with that some mornings. It's a kind of like, I call it the nameless unease. And so it takes some time to meditate, call on the angels, call on God to, lift and help move that energy. But there's also the kind of intuition that tells you about certain situations. Okay. And to pay attention to that, try not to let logic override get in your way. It's when your logical mind steps in and says, "Oh, no, I don't have to worry about that." For some reason. And then later you end up saying, "Oh, darn, I wish I had trusted my gut on that one." All right, let's see. Okay. So Archangel Haniel's coming forward here with alerting us to pay attention to the moon cycles this month. So we did have last month was eclipse month. We had a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. Now, the effects of those are still going on. And as I understand, they go on for quite some time, or they can go on for quite some time. So, but I think we're due to come up on a full moon next. I'm not even sure what the exact date is, but Haniel's an archangel who helps us to work with the moon energies. Generally speaking, full moons are a really great time for releasing things, letting go of the old. And new moons are a time for starting new things. So you can work with moon energies in those ways. People also have other unique ways that they work with moon energies, but just, notice how you're feeling around, the full moon. A lot of people get very vivid dreams. Excuse me. Or maybe they don't get as great a night's sleep, things like that. So what she's saying here is just notice how the moon affects your energies. Okay. How the cycles of the moon affect your energies. So that's what we might be paying attention to this month, especially where it's October. And the veils, as I mentioned, between the worlds is the thinnest. We might notice that the moon energies are we're noticing a lot more how we're feeling during those times. Harvest moon, October 6th. Thank you. So, all right. Let's see what other archangels are working with us. And Haniel is an angel of grace. She can help us in a variety of situations where we are looking to present our best self. Okay. Let's see. What other archangels are working with us? Ooh. Look at a few that spilled out here. Okay. All right. So we have Sandalphon with gifts from God. Okay. So, I've always found when this card comes up, there can be literal gifts that are given to you. Okay. Now, a lot of us like to hope that those are financial gifts, but it may be certainly a physical gift that's being, an unexpected one. I mean, this card says, we angels bring you gifts from your creators. Open your arms to receive. So it's also a message this month about receiving, being in that space of being willing to receive, whether it's like a physical gift, a financial gift, or just a nice gesture that someone does for you. Okay. Be open to receive because, it's certainly suggests that it's coming from the divine. Okay. Let me see. So some of the other cards that spilled out here, we have Archangel Azrael with comfort. He says, I'm with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. Now, I will say this card does also show up for me when there's someone passing. Okay. Maybe someone in your personal life, could be someone in the world at large, could be a world leader, or maybe a celebrity that we know, who's very well known. It doesn't have to mean that. For a lot of us, maybe October is a time when a loved one has passed in recent years, or, what have you, maybe many years past, but something this month is maybe triggering it and triggering a bit of healing for you that still needs to be, because grief isn't like an entirely linear process. It definitely that sometimes doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. When you lose, or it might even be a beloved pet. Okay. When you lose a loved one, there's that initial period of grieving, but then sometimes it can seem like you'll be okay for a while, and then something simple will trigger it, and you'll be grieving again, So, but Archangel Azrael is he's that archangel that helps us deal with loss. So he's in here helping us this month. And we have, Shamuel, as I mentioned at the beginning, with peace, helping us Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. And we had the love card right at the beginning. Synchronous messages here. And Raguel finally with relationship harmony. So I think the relationship harmony also speaks to, or that and the peace together. Right now we're in a situation in the United States where our government is shut down, usually because they can't come to an agreement on that, passing the budget or the bill or what have you. Okay. I do think this speaks to the fact that something will come together. Relationship harmony, we're opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved. So I think that speaks to that situation getting resolved within the month. Okay. And peace, something may take place this month that's helping us all to feel a little bit more peaceful and a little bit more at ease. With the eclipses that we had last month was really intense. So with the eclipses, past us, at least, for September, this part of the year, we have, I think that Samuel's message isn't just to, call upon him for help with feeling greater peace, but also a message about a little bit more peace and relief coming in. Okay. At least that's what I'm hoping for. That was a lot of Archangel cards that spilled out here. Okay. So now let's take a look at, let's see what our message Archangel Michael has here. Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, thank you for being present with us now. We're asked for clear, easily understandable messages for those who may be watching this video and participating in it live. Archangel Michael. Ooh. All right. Michael's urging us to get outdoors and connect with nature. It's a really great way to get grounded. And obviously going into the month, that does indicate that that is what we're going to be doing. I mean, a lot of people get out in October to go apple picking, to really enjoy. Well, I know here where I am on the East Coast, the North Sea, it's the beginning of the fall season. So, and it's just a beautiful time of year. So people, it's just one of the things we're going to be doing a lot this month is getting outdoors to enjoy the beautiful weather that is around. And just connecting with that. Thank you for motivating me to spend more time outdoors and for helping me relax and enjoy connecting with nature. And what I get from Archangel Michael is that is kind of an antidote to the underlying fear and nervousness that a lot of us are feeling because of what's been going on. Oh, I've got a cat that's howling in the background. She gets very stressed. Yes, honey. He is also giving us the message of a favorable outcome. Okay. There's a beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Okay. So he's letting us know about either a situation that we are in personally. I also do think it speaks to what I was mentioning earlier about the government shutdown. There is a favorable outcome. Let me see if there's any more to this. And again, what I see in this image is he has, I don't know if you can see, all you can maybe see is the two lights. But he's holding a scale and the scales are balanced. So I think to me, it feels like part of this message is for us, letting us know that there's a favorable outcome down the road. Things are coming back into balance. Okay. So if you've been feeling out of sorts, if you've been, feeling like your life is a little bit, crazy here and there. It certainly seems that going into October, things are going to be settling down a little bit. You get to spend more time outdoors, enjoy the outdoors. Things come back into balance for you. And you're able to tune into your intuitive feelings, your what they call your clairsentience, your gut feelings about things. So those are some of my, let me just see if Michael has one more. Michael, what else would you like to tell us? I love when I get that favorable outcome card. Ooh, and there's one that came flying out of my hands. One second. Okay. Okay. So the message that came flying out was this one. The person that you're asking about is trustworthy. Okay. So, this message from Michael does come up when you're either concerned about a situation or about to encounter something that, well, you might be worried, like, is this legit? So he's letting us know that. I also feel, as I look at this card, there's someone coming forward in the political arena. Someone's going to be stepping forward with more, someone who has more integrity or truthfulness to them. And so he's letting us know that this person is trustworthy. Okay. Michael's always a good person to call on, a good person, good archangel to call on. When you do have those concerns about, is this a scam? Is this worth trusting? Or I've just met this person. I really like them, but, I'm not sure. So he's a great angel to call upon to get clarity for that. But gosh, favorable outcome, and the person you're asking about is trustworthy. So, this could certainly indicate at a personal level, if there's a situation that you've been dealing with, maybe you're looking for a new place to live, or, maybe it's some kind of business partnership or new relationship in your life. Or if there is some kind of troubling situation there, he's letting you know that there's a favorable outcome to it, and that, there's a person there that's involved that's trustworthy. Okay. Let's see. All right. And the final cards I'm going to pull on here for our October messages is the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses card deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. Actually, Tony Carmine Salerno made this little mini angel deck too. So, Angels, Gods, and Goddesses, what do you wish us to know for the month of October? Let's see. Oh, we have Angel of Communication. Communicate clearly. Don't be afraid to tell it like it is. Always some sirens going on in the background here. So, let me see. Ooh, there's another one that's spilled out. All right. So we have, as I said, we have this Angel of Communication. She says, don't be afraid to tell it like it is. And right along next to that, we got the Angel of Healing. Okay. So when I get these cards here together. All right. I think what it's pointing to in the month of October, um, as I mentioned earlier, I think that the favorable outcome and the person we're asking about is trustworthy. I do feel like there's someone in the larger, like in the political arena or the drama that's going on in the country, who's coming forward and truth, being truthful and speaking the truth. It helps to bring things into balance, back into balance. And that's certainly at a personal level too. We might be having a lot more communication with people in our personal life, just very open, like the love card says, opening our heart, and Raguel's message of relationship harmony, opening our hearts, speaking the truth lovingly. And it's bringing about healing for us. Because when we're able to, even if we have to just kind of tell it like it is sometimes, when you have to have that kind of come to Jesus talk with someone, or you just like kind of, that's it. You just need to hear this straight. We can have conversations like that without it turning into like a, F-bomb, mean or this or that. Although even when people have those kinds of, tell like it is conversations, it clears the air and it hopefully helps come to a better understanding. And that brings about healing. Okay. And this, it says the angels have felt your sadness and have shown up today to send you healing. Okay. And so this certainly connects with the Archangel Azrael card that we got about comfort. Okay. They're noticing, they see that we're sad or that we may be grieving something, and they're here to help us heal. Okay. And we can be called on them for that. So there's, calling on the angels, we're calling on the higher energies. We're looking at the overview, the higher perspective, and angel messages are definitely, very positive. So, generally, but they, give us wise guidance as to how to proceed. And it looks and feels like October is going to have some calmer, more peaceful energies to it. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be any drama or that there aren't going to be any troubling situations, but it looks like the beginning of some peace and healing here that has to do with, greater communication, things that take place that are bringing about balance, peace, and harmony, and helping us to return to that. So, all right. Those are some of the messages that I getting into our month of October. Now, if you'd like to see more of these lives, please certainly let me know. You can comment in the chat or below. And maybe we'll do some more that have people's, either personal questions or questions about things going on that we could throw cards on. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a great month of October. Take care.